Hello, my name's Mrs. Wildgoose. I'm going to talk to you today about our approach to reading and phonics here at Cheetham. Reading changes everything. Teach a child to read and keep that child reading and we'll change everything. I mean everything. This is a quote that we strongly believe in here at Cheetham. And research suggests that children who learn to read quickly go on to succeed in school and in life. Reading can open so many windows of opportunity for children. The emphasis changes from learning to read to reading to learn, and that's when children, the opportunities of learning just become so much greater once they can read. So the scheme that we use to teach early reading and phonics at Cheetham is Read, Write, Inc. So children learn to read in reception, year 1 and year 2, through the Read, Write, Inc. programme. The programme is also for older children who may need to catch up, so children in year 3 and 4 who haven't yet met the year 2 reading expectations. Fresh Start is also part of the Read, Write, Inc. programme. And this is an intervention to support children in years 5 and 6 who are still learning to read. And this may be that they have only recently joined the school, they may be new to English, they may be international new arrivals. And children will learn in a similar way, but with more age-appropriate language and terminology. Children are taught in groups based on their stage of reading. So we assess every child every 6 weeks to ensure that they are in the right groups and they're being taught at the right level. So what Read, Write, Inc. does is simple. We teach sounds and we start with the sounds a, s, d, and t. Children then practice reading and spelling words containing these sounds. They will only be asked to read and spell words using sounds that they have been taught. And the aim is that we want children to feel confident and we want them to succeed. We don't want them to feel that they failed when they've come across a sound that they've not yet been taught. Once children are reading simple words and phrases, they will begin to read decodable books. And these books will only contain words with the sounds that they have been taught. They will read each storybook 3 times in school, and then they will read it again with you at home. On each read, the child's fluency increases and they can focus more on the comprehension and understanding what the story is about. Children also learn to spell the words that they've been reading and develop their ideas into sentences so that they can write about the storybooks that they've read. Alongside this, we also use a wide range of reading for pleasure books so that children can enjoy stories, they can listen and understand the story without the need for them to read and decode words. Our aim is for children to finish the Read, Write, Inc. programme as quickly as possible so that they can start reading these books for themselves. As part of the programme, we also have one-to-one tutoring. The emphasis is on keeping up rather than catching up. So at every assessment point, we identify children who are not keeping up with their peers, and we arrange tutoring sessions so that they can practice whichever sounds or words that they're struggling with within their daily phonics session. We call these spotlight children. So teachers look out for spotlight children each day and flag up those children that need that extra practice. So what is phonics? Phonics is made up of sounds and graphemes. So words are made up of individual sounds. These sounds are then merged together to form words. So in the word mat, we have three sounds. A, t. Those three sounds are merged together to make the word mat. In the word ship, we also have three sounds. Sh, it, ship. Grapheme is the word we use to describe what the sound looks like written down. So the letters or the group of letters that represent that sound. There can be more than one letter representing each sound. For example, in the word ship, as we just described, the sh sound is made up of two letters, S and H, that make the sh sound. In the English alphabetic code, there are 44 sounds. Now, unfortunately, in our alphabet, we only have 26 letters, which makes it difficult for children learning to read and write. There are over 150 graphemes or letter combinations that represent those 44 sounds. That makes our English language one of the most complicated in the world. So we try to simplify it for children by introducing first the set 1 and set 2 sounds. We don't teach them in the order of the alphabet. We teach them in an order that will allow them to build and make as many words as possible early on. As you can see on the speed sound chart here, we have different types of sounds. So we have stretchy sounds, the ones on the top, which we ask the children to stretch out as they say the sound. And what we would ask is that parents try really hard to pronounce these sounds as purely as possible. So, for example, the sounds on the top we would pronounce as f, l, m, n, r, s. So you can see that those sounds are being stretched out. We also have bouncy sounds, the next row down, and these are short, bouncy sounds. We try not to use our voice as much as possible. So instead of saying burr, it would be b. Instead of cur, it would be k, d, g, h, j, p. On the Ruth Miskin website, you can listen to how each sound is pronounced. And I have shared links with parents for you to be able to watch those sounds. Please speak to your teacher if you need the link again. So here, children are taught one way of writing every sound. When children know one way of writing every sound, we then introduce different ways of writing each sound. So as you can see on the third row down, we have the A sound. Children will first learn to spell the sound with the AY spelling. They will learn that the AY spelling usually comes at the end of the word in words like day, may, today. Once they're confident with that, we will then introduce that there are different ways to spell that same sound. Words like bake and make use the split digraph AE. Words like rain and pain use the AI spelling. We teach children that these are called special friends, two letters that make one sound. Alongside each sound, we teach children to blend the sounds to read words. So the three sounds in the word sat are s, a, t. We want children to blend those three sounds to make the word sat. S, at, sat. To help us do this, we use a frog in school called Fred. We ask children to Fred talk and then read the word. So Fred might speak to the teacher and say d-a-g. Children know that Fred can't blend the sounds and they have to blend the sounds for him. So when Fred says d-a-g, the children repeat d-a-g, dog. They blend the sounds for him. We also ask children to use Fred fingers when they are spelling words. So if we wanted the children to write the word ship, we would ask them to hide the sounds in ship. So they would count how many sounds in the word ship. Sh, ip. They would hide those sounds behind their hand. We then ask them how many sounds? 3 sounds. We then ask them to say the word and pinch the sounds. Ship, sh, ip. And then we ask them to write it. This is a tool that they will use to help them spell words. And we'd like you to help them by reminding them to use their Fred talk. With the reading books that children have every day in their phonics lessons, they will read the books 3 times in school and the 4th time at home. The first time is about reading accuracy and decoding each word. The second day, they will read the same book again to improve their fluency. The third day, they should be able to read the book fluently, and that frees up some space in their brain for understanding what they've read and talking about the story. They will then read the book for the 4th time at home with you. Children shouldn't be bringing books home that they haven't read 3 times already in school. As well as the book that they bring home that they've read in school, they will also bring an additional book that practices the same sounds. Depending on where your child is on the phonics program, they might not bring home a reading book. They may bring home just a read for pleasure book. So if your child doesn't know all of the set 1 sounds and if they're still learning set 1 sounds and they're not able to blend those sounds using the Fred talk, they will not be ready for a blending book. They will bring home a book that is for you as an adult to share with your child so that they are still exposed to high quality stories and non-fiction texts. Children who know most of the sounds and can blend sounds to make words orally will bring home a reading for pleasure book for you to share with them. They will also bring home a blending book, which allows them to practice blending sounds in simple words. Once children are more confident in reading simple words and phrases, they will bring home a ditty. This is a piece of paper with some simple words and phrases on that they have read in their phonics lessons. They will also bring home a new ditty that practices the same sounds, as well as a read for pleasure book. If your child is more confident in reading, they will bring home a book, a black and white version of the book that they have read in class for 3 days. They will also bring home a coloured version of a book that is a different story but practicing the same sounds. And they would also bring home a read for pleasure book, which is just about enjoyment. We have put on our school website a link to the Ruth Miskin website where you can see lots of videos and information support for parents to allow you to support your child. What we ask is that when you're helping your child to blend or to segment words, we ask that you use pure sounds, not the letter names, but the sounds. We ask that you use Fred Talk to read and spell words. If your child comes across a word that they're struggling with, just remind them, Fred Talk, read the word. Listen to your child read their storybook every day if they've brought one home, if they're at that stage. Even if they haven't brought the storybook home because they're not at that stage with their reading development, please read stories to your child every day. These links have been shared via parent mail, and they are available on our school website for you to get further support and advice. And I'd like to remind you about the Oxford Owl website, where you can get lots and lots of free reading books online for your child to read and practice. Reading feeds the imagination. It expands horizons and offers new and exciting ways of seeing and making sense of our lives and of the world around us. That's a quote from Michael Mapogo. So I'd like to thank you for your time. And if you do have any questions, please come and speak to your teacher or myself. Thank you.